Hey guys! Guys, I saw a video on Adapt 2030, and I'm going to put that channel down in the description box. But he had another just awesome video. And I really think it's important for us to watch it and kind of understand things are changing, just really weird. And you guys know this is not the same world that you grew up in. This is, I was born in the 70s. So I'm that 80s baby, I remember so much great stuff. But things are so much different now, and it just seems like things are changing on the daily. And I think the government has a lot to do with it. So, guys, we're going to listen in to Adapt 2030, and that way you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about. I know right now I'm talking with the whole conspiracy theory kind of thing up there, but guys, there's a lot going on. So, let's watch some of David's video.
Well, what event is that then that could be large enough that you could lock the entire planet down again and implement a digital ID at the same time?
An EMP, man. A solar flare.
Damn, it comes back to it.
Yeah.
They would ride on top of that natural event to get that same outcome, but then they're going to get two outcomes. They're going to get a little bit of depop, but they're also going to get a reset on the economy because, oh no, all the banks went down.
So, guys, you know that something is going on. They do want to reset the economy. But if you read like the Georgia Guidestones, all of that stuff going on, they think that the population is too much. So they want to decrease the population. We've heard this with Bill Gates. We've heard this and heard this. So we know that the government is up to something.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining David Nino Rodriguez, Nino's Corner.tv joining me today. I'm on the edge of solar activity driving changes in our jet streams over these 400-year cycles that disrupt food production. We're at it again. A lot of the elite circles understand these cycles better than many. And he understands more on the political end of a lot of these agendas being carried out, whether it be Agenda 21, which is flipped to Agenda 2030, that whole movement of politics to move these chess pieces into place to control food production, food distribution through digital IDs, et cetera. That's his wheelhouse. My wheelhouse is over here looking at the 2026 Year Ahead magazine for The Economist magazine, showing you clearly that cake that's labeled 250 or 250 years is either a new established magnetic field point, magnetic field wandering where they're pointing to, or the unusual stratospheric, polar disruptions that we're having. They're showing you something this year that cold's going to go really far south. In my opinion, food's going to get more disrupted. So we're going to take it from that end.
And guys, you know that something weird is happening with the weather. Here in Nashville, we're getting snow. We're going to get ice and snow overnight tonight. And we usually don't see any of that stuff until maybe January, mid-January into February. But now it is December, and hey, it's coming.
And David, appreciate you joining me. Digital ID, earth changes, polar disruptions, and it seems like governments around the world are absolutely preparing for some sort of massive event, and they're just not telling us, but they are quietly preparing and setting up laws to control the populace while they continue to ready themselves continuity. And, maybe I'll start off with the simplest question. I mean, would you warn the populace the way you see them behave on the average, just daily workings of a person walking on the street? I would still try, but, things are, stranger these days. So I'll leave it there. And thanks for joining. This is going to be a great conversation, everyone. Just lock in for this one because you're going to be smashed against.
And guys, I don't know even if you told people if they would listen. Because even with me bringing this out, a lot of people think, oh, Pink, you just have a conspiracy theory mind. You've got a tinfoil hat. But guys, things are happening. Things are happening. Just since 2020, just since the little C word came out, things have changed. It doesn't feel right.
hits the back of your seat by the end of it. Here we go.
Yeah, I definitely know they have a big play up their sleeve, and what they're getting ready to do. You know, weather warfare is real. I mean, they can manipulate and steer hurricanes. They can cause Arctic, shifts. They can cause freezes, earthquakes. I mean, this is not anything that's new to my audience. We all know about this. I've had guests on that discuss this. But I think the big one's coming, right? And you have Gavin Newsom out there right now touting himself, parading around, masquerading, saying he's going to be the future climate change president. So I know they're losing on all fronts. They're losing on all fronts. Well, but what big weapon do they still have? Weather warfare. And I think they're going to use that card, which will, and they will hoist Newsom into the spotlight to take over and throw mud all over Trump's face. I think something big's getting ready to come now, whether it's an earthquake on the West Coast, volcanic eruptions, whether it's an Arctic freeze, it's coming. I mean, we're all seeing, what is it, the Northern Lights now in Alabama? I mean, things are happening on this planet that we've never before seen. And I've had guests on that have come on to say that, they're governments. I had Stuart Swerdlow on, and I can try to get him on your show as well, talking about his great uncle was the first Soviet Union president. He was the first president of the Soviet Union. His cousin started the KGB, and he gets debriefed by people within the government. He says that there's been 2 star explosions. I don't know the correct terminology for that. Maybe you can correct me on that. 2 star explosions in the distant galaxy, or in this, right? That is now the gamma rays are coming into our solar system and bombarding our planet.
The Fed's out of options, rate cuts, money printing, balance.
This, guys. But see, y'all know something is coming. It's just really strange.
2 weeks before anyone would know this. I mean, he's called some great predictions, but and then I've had Juan on talking about how this weather warfare is real. And then I've had other guests on talking about, like Dane Wigington, talking about geoengineering. I think it all plays hand in hand together. And I think 2026 is going to be a big, big year for something catastrophic to happen to our food supply, to the economy. I think this is the year.
Somebody would have to know the cycle onset, the intensification, and then that apex period of when we roll into this. It can't be salvaged any longer type of knowledge. So you look at this play that they've been taking all the people out of the Sahel and North Africa, bringing them up to Europe. But as you know, if you don't know, the West African monsoon has shifted to tremendous amounts of rainfall, and the African mega lakes are starting to fill up from beneath because all this excess rainfall is now flowing in there. That's why you see town after town, village after village getting flooded to, never seen before depths, because 7,000 years ago, those were larger than all the Great Lakes combined in America, these mega lakes in Africa. We got the New Renaissance Dam, the White Elephant over there, the largest hydroelectric project in some of the driest areas of Africa, the World Bank funded, and it filled up 7 years early. Now we're looking at double rotation crop because the above ground rainfall is increasing to exponential levels, but those aquifers beneath Africa, the Sus aquifer, Nubian sandstone aquifer, they've never been tapped before in an industrial fashion. So we got pristine primary water, which Deborah Tavares talks about, 2 primary spots over in Africa. The above ground water rainfalls there. We could do a double rotation crop. We could restart the world economy just focusing on that area for food production out of the world. And I've seen some different reports on how the World Bank and the IMF wanted to fund this. They want to take all food production into a centralized location, which is going to be North African Sahel, and distribute it from there to the rest of the planet. Then we could save the planet in rewild areas. This is their whole plan. Problem was there was too many people there. So they've exported 10 million plus fighting age men over to up into Europe. And now that area is pretty much depopulated of fighting age men. And lo and behold, we're going to go back in there and set it up as a grow zone. Somebody knew this, because the reason I would say that long-winded is the volcano that just erupted in Ethiopia hadn't erupted in 10,000 years. To your point about the micronovas coming in, the galactic cosmic rays, they excite magma chambers. So if we're getting a dual pulse of magnetic or cosmic rays coming in, the electromagnetism inside those chambers would be excited enough to get those punch throughs. And that's why we get once in a 10,000 year eruption, because we're having an extra 2 inputs now into the system. Somebody knew this in advance, or they would not have set up the Ethiopian dams, and they would not have pushed all those people out of Africa to get it empty when they start growing again, unless they had foreknowledge of these cycles. I'll just leave it there.
Right. And I think you sent me the cover of, what is it, Politico magazine?
The Economist magazine.
The Economist magazine, right. Well, they're both guilty of this, but they always project what they're going to do before it happens. It just works that way. So when you see something on the cover like Economist magazine, you can pretty much take that to the bank. And from what I saw on the cover, and I'm sure you'll show it during the show or something like that, but it does show like an Arctic freeze, correct? I mean, so it shows something getting ready to happen that they're planning on. And they do this, they can't do this without telling you first. So to me, even in El Paso, they were having droughts in California. I was talking to Dane Wigington about this.
So guys, there's so much stuff. There's so much stuff happening. And I think that we really need to focus this year getting your supplies up, because I think with the government shutdown, it was planned. I really think it was planned. It's to scare everybody, and they're up to something. And we need to make sure that we take care of each other and keep our head on a swivel, because things are happening now and things are happening fast. Guys, tell me what you think about this. I love each and every one of you, and I will see you in the next video.